It's 1989, and Warren Buffett is sitting at his desk in Omaha signing a check for $358 million. It is the worst single trade he will ever make. Today we walk through exactly how Warren Buffett, the most disciplined investor alive, lost $358 million on USAir convertible preferred stock, and what he stole from the wreckage. In June of 1989, Buffett invests $358 million of Berkshire Hathaway's cash into USAir Group preferred stock. The instrument is a convertible preferred. It pays 9.25% in dividends regardless of how the stock performs. Buffett tells the board it is the safest investment he has ever made. He is wrong. Here is what Buffett missed. The airline industry, taken as a whole, has never made a single dollar of cumulative profit. Every dollar an airline earns 1 year, it loses back in a recession the next. It is the textbook example of what Buffett calls a capital-intensive cyclical business with no pricing power. Within 18 months of Buffett's investment, the Gulf War cuts air travel in half. Jet fuel prices double. USAir loses $354 million in 1991 alone. The stock collapses. The preferred dividend gets suspended. Buffett's stomach turns over every time the quarterly statements arrive. In 1994, Berkshire writes down the entire position by 75%, $268 million of paper losses. In the 1994 annual letter, Buffett describes the trade in 2 sentences, quote, "When the chairman of any business makes a major mistake, the shareholders deserve a clear and detailed accounting," end quote. Then he gives it. Here is the part that no one talks about. In 1998, the airline industry recovers. USAir refinances. The convertible converts at a profit. Buffett, after 9 years of misery, gets back $240 million in cash and another $66 million in stock. On the trade itself, Berkshire breaks roughly even. So why does Buffett still call it his worst trade? Because for 9 years, $358 million of Berkshire's cash was locked into a business with structurally negative returns on capital. Buffett later calculates that the same money in the S&P 500 over those 9 years would have compounded to $1.4 billion. Opportunity cost. The most expensive number on a balance sheet is the one that never appears. After USAir, Buffett writes a 1-sentence rule on a sheet of paper and tapes it to his desk, quote, "Never invest in a business that requires more capital tomorrow than it generated yesterday," end quote. That sentence will inform every Berkshire trade for the next 20 years. It is why Buffett buys See's Candies, a business that generates more cash every year than it consumes. It is why he buys Coca-Cola in 1988, a business that requires almost no capital to grow. It is why he avoids airlines for 27 years, and then in 2016 finally buys back in, when industry consolidation finally fixes the economics. $358 million of cash frozen in a bad business for 9 years taught Buffett the most expensive lesson he ever learned. The lesson was not that airlines are bad. The lesson was that capital-intensive cyclical businesses with no pricing power destroy your compounding. Buffett did not lose $358 million on USAir. He paid $358 million in tuition. The S&P 500 has returned 11.2% annually since the trade closed. Berkshire Hathaway has returned 20.1%. The lesson worked.